Welcome to your own house, I guess.
It's an art house. It's music, film, art. It's a collection of collections. It's a lifetime of collecting. 20 years of me living at this property, 20 years building everything you see here. I'm Jim Kirk. Jim Kirk, that's my name, yeah.
Hell yeah. So how are you, Pickles? What's going on?
I'm doing just dandy on this wonderful Sunday. So into the Bat Cave we go. When I first met him about 3 years ago, he was playing guitar on top of his van out there at the Pittsburgh pub that's just a few blocks down there. And he was just shredding. People were out there smoking cigarettes, and they were like kind of not having it. But I saw this, and I was like, dude, that's my guy. So I got my six-pack, threw it in his truck, just got on top of it with him and started shredding with him, like air guitaring, and he just realized, he turns around, puts his wig on me, and then next thing you know, we're getting drinks together, and I'm sleeping in here that night.
So come this way, and you can see the rest of the place. This is the captain's quarters here. This is where the captain lives. This is where the captain lives. This is the fish tank. There used to be lizards in here and fish, and now I've got it a dry tank, and it's wonderful. I never have to clean it. There's Jim Morrison, there's the dinosaurs, there's these two young ladies here.
You created this?
I created pretty much everything you see.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games right this way.
All right.
This is giant ping pong. It's 4 times the size of a regular table, and it's a lot of fun. It's almost like playing tennis because it's so big. You know, you really got to move. It's not your grandfather's ping pong.
This is a whole field. We've had, back in our party days, we had at least 4 or 5 different games of beer pong going across this way. Flip cup happening with like 40 people. Oh. Yeah, I mean, if you can just imagine it, then you can live it. Cantina bar right over here with all of more Star Wars.
Who's the bartender?
You can never have enough. Well,
yes,
Viv, you gotta get the Viv.
Miss Viv. I think we're having a squad meeting in the spaceship, you guys. See you there.
So right now it's kind of like doubling as a storage space a little bit. Yeah, and obviously it's based on the OG Enterprise, the original. But people's reaction, right, when they come in here, it's incredible. It just hits them like a brick wall. They're just like, they walk right in and they're like, oh my god, my life just flashed before my eyes. And like, no, literally some people like they just lose their mind over this. Like, yeah.
What was your reaction when you came in here?
My god. Like, so I'm a Next Gen fan. I'll just say that. It's almost like a blur to me. Like, I don't even really remember exactly what I said but like it's a feat of creativity and expression that's just like, you know, unparalleled to things I've seen in my life. And I've seen a lot of things. Like, I've been to a lot of places, like in the United States mostly, but oh god, like it's totally that San Francisco kind of culture, you know, where you just never know what you're gonna see. So I was at an Airbnb down the street. I was looking for a place to live, and I literally followed the signs here. You know what I mean? Like, I was guided to live here. And when I walked right up front, I was like, what is this? He was just like, oh, you know, it's just my house. You want the tour? And I just like, I'd never had somebody say to me like, do you just want to take a tour of my house? So I was like, yeah. I had a room for rent sign in the window, and so when they gave me the whole tour, I was like, wow, this whole place is me, you know. It's like, and we talked about this with like many people who come in. It's like, I just feel at home, and it's like all the nostalgia factor, and also just that we're like really welcoming to anyone who comes in. And yeah, I felt welcomed, and then they showed me the room upstairs, and I decided to move in specifically because after I walked away from this place, I saw a poster that said, like, it had Spock on it, and it wasn't from this place. It was from something else that said, it's the logical decision.
There's the sign.
Yeah. Yep. It was a logical decision. So everything just kind of fell into place for me to live here. And, of course, I just, like, these are, like, instant friends.
We've done some video, but the film that I wrote, I'm actually working on now, that I wrote 10 years ago, and that's why I built this set.
What's the plot?
The plot is it's basically how do we get to Star Trek? How do we get there? Like, how do we get to the point where we're at peace with one another and the planet has come together in a, unified thing, like in Star Trek?
You're a big fan of Star Trek.
I'm a big fan of just film in general, and I don't like to call myself a Star Trek fan because there's so much more than just Star Trek. But I'm definitely a fan of Star Trek. Yeah, I'm a fan of Star Trek.
I mean, you're Captain Kirk.
I'm Captain Kirk. Well, Star Trek is a fan of me.
Oh, is it?
Anyway,
You came first?
yeah, I came first. Thank you. That's a good. So yeah, that's the Bridge of the Enterprise.
Amazing. I gotta know what's with the Star Trek obsession.
Well, see, I don't like to call it that though.
No? I mean, look at these. Look at this. Where did all the memorabilia come from?
Well, these were gifted to me, my friend Jules, and she told me I had to have them holding hands because when she was a little girl, she always had them holding hands on her mother's refrigerator.
Deal.
They are, yeah. But yes, I love Star Trek, but it's not just Star Trek. It's Star Wars, it's Star Trek, it's Batman, it's history of San Francisco, history of the world, history of the neighborhood out here. It's a lot to this place.
You like fantasy?
Well, there again, I don't like to call it fantasy because in the case of Star Trek, where there is a lot of fantasy, films out there, but in the case of Star Trek, it's the furthest thing from fantasy. It's a portrayal of our future. So it's not. My mother used to call it fantasy, but it's really not.
What do you want for the future, Captain Kirk?
Well, for the future, I want Star Trek.
You want it to come true?
I want us all to get along, all races, all people. Yeah, that's what I want.
Is that why you made this place?
Well, yeah, this kind of gives, when people come here, they learn a lot. They learn a lot about, and then they realize that Star Trek is more than just a fantasy world. They learn about how you can make your life wonderful. And basically, I built this entire place out of stuff that I either found or refurbished or was gifted. So that's part of the message here is you can have a good time and you can turn your house into like a playground and you don't need like a ton of money to do it. Not if you're handy. And so that's kind of the message is like how to live free and how to live fun, how to have fun. That's a big part of this.